All right, Kenman here, and today is a 2 for Tuesday. It's a double feature. What? Here we go. Let's get into it. A couple new things for us to check out. It's a double. It's a twofer. Let's just get right into these. Packaging. Open. Out we go. Bag on the floor. On another one. Bag on the floor. 2 boxes. Zaby knives. ZB. We have the 7283 and the 7259. Whoops, sorry. For knife making. Silver. New. D2. Huh, what? Well, let's get into it and find out. I have been getting into some fabrication. I bought a few what's called a blank. And what blanks are is what we're about to look at. Essentially, it is a almost fabricated knife. What it's basically missing is the handle. So there's a little bit of everything. I've taken knives that are complete and done a customization to the handle, done a die, done some anodizing, some laser marking, some acid etching, several things like that. I've never actually made a knife, but this is a good kind of start to that adventure. These knives are made, but they are missing handles. So let's just get right in here, get them open up. You'll see what I'm talking about. I did get a few others recently, some Damascus, that we will check out in a second here. These were not too terribly expensive. Bag on the floor. I think they were both around $15 to $20 at the most. So not extremely expensive, but they'll be good for what we're going to do here because we're doing some tests. You don't want to go buy a $100 chunk and then go try to put a handle on it and screw up and learn things and then realize what you want to work on / fix or change. All right, let me get my other ones out here. I need to get a towel, paper towels to wipe these off. They look like they are oily. Okay. Apologize in advance. I should have paid more attention. We're live here. No cuts, no edits. Just getting some paper towels. These look to be shipped Pakistan style. Covered in oil. Is this thing vacuum bagged? Okay, so it looks more oily than it is because there is another bag inside of the bag. Inside of the bag. Definitely do have some oil. I'm trying to keep this thing as new and fresh until the person buys it. Then it's on me to prevent it from rusting. Right? Okay, so here we are, baggage on the floor. We're going to just wipe this oil off. I'm going to be doing a bunch of this and sanding and getting it all covered with wood handle dust, etc. So we're going to have to clean this up. All right. Wow, this is cool. I like the way this feels already. All right, didn't realize you're going to be watching me clean oil off of things today. Bag on the floor, tip on the floor, external seal removed to the floor. These are fun. So D2 steel on these. These are the Zaby knives, handmade hunting knife blanks. We have an 8-inch Skinner blade and a 9-inch Skinner blade. They have some different styles to them a little bit. They offer quite a few different looks and shapes and things. So I picked a couple of them just to start off. The one thing with these is they're D2, but how well is it heat treated? It says 58 to 60, but you know, when you're buying something and not spending too much on it from a company that you don't know anything about, I don't know how well these are going to hold up, how great they're heat treated, how sharp of an edge it'll take and then actually hold. But we're going to find out. Either way, we get to learn. We get to make some handles. All right, we're clean. Spent half the video just cleaning these up. So we got a couple nice chunks of D2. Rough edge right here. Not really quite refined and finished back where the handle's going to be. But when you get up in here, that edge is nice and refined. It does have an edge to it, not too sharp. It feels like it's there, but it's going to need a little work. We got a little hollow grind up in that section right there. This one has a big choke up spot for when we make that handle, and a lanyard hole if desired, or I could just completely cover that up. Let's put them side by side. They're actually pretty similar in size. This one is a little bit bigger on top there, a little bit longer. Blades are actually about the same though. Handle's just a little bit bigger on that one. So this one here, a little bit more rounded on the back, smaller finger groove there. Kind of a similar shape, a little bit more of an upsweep. These are fun. What do we think? Who's excited to see what kind of handles I'm going to make out of these? Comment below. Start off with some wood. Probably get a couple thin layers of like G10 and stuff and glue up a couple things for some patterns. So here are the two I just got. Here are the two Damascus blades that I picked up from the last video. So I'm gonna do one of these. I'm gonna give the other one to my brother-in-law Aaron. Have him do one. We'll kind of meet up and we'll both do one. See what differences we kind of come up with. And then I do have this Bowie that I picked up years ago, actually, many years ago. I don't even remember how much it was or when. I think this was around 40 bucks. So again, how well of an edge is it gonna hold? It's got a nice little pattern on that Damascus though. And I haven't really cared too much for it. And I know I picked it up and touched it a bunch and got fingerprints on it and put it away without really cleaning it. And I have noticed there is, this is well over 10 years that I've held it, and it doesn't appear to have any rust or anything on it, so that's a thing, right? So here we are, no handles on these. Brother-in-law made a few things. This is the Damascus knife. So this is all wood, no actual blade, but he was inspired by some of the stuff on the channel and got a little creative, does a lot of woodworking, came up with a couple of really fun knives, decorative display pieces, right? So there's that one there. Here is the tree kel, modeled after the T-Kel Melissa Backwoods knife. Look at this. This is amazing. So we've got walnut and cherry, or I can't remember what this one is exactly, but you can see just basically ran the wood through a planer, glued it all together, no pins or screws or anything like that, just glue, and then shaped it. Well, he shaped the blade, then glued on the handle to shape the handle. But you can see, really good stuff. I am excited. I saw these and I was like, wow, I got to do that. And then when we started talking, I was like, well, they make these blanks where you can buy just the blank and all it needs is the handle. And he jumped on the idea. I have ordered a few now. We are going to make handles for these in this kind of a style, except for we'll use the pins. So basically you will drill the hole through the handle, get it almost complete, and then basically you pin it in and you hammer the pins. You make the hole have a little bit of a chamfer to it or whatever. Pin them in, pound it down so it's permanent, it's solid. Then you can go do the final sanding and shaping. Look at these Zaby knives. I will look for some that are a little bit higher quality, a little more price point to them, a little bit higher quality, in that hoping that the steel has been heat treated well and it's something that could be an actual usable knife. These might be, I don't know, but when you're not spending a whole lot, you don't know how well that heat treat's going to be. You can expect it to maybe not hold an edge very long, but these will be good experiments for testing out capabilities. And then next thing you know, I'll be buying some grinders and sanders and some stock and doing stock removal of my own shapes. Who's interested? What do we think? I do want to learn how to do some jimps. Put some jimps on there. Got a couple of jimps set up on there. I think I could totally start putting jimps on other knives that I already have that don't have jimps that I want more jimps on. I am a jimp lover. I feel like a few of them right there will be a good spot for me to start practicing and learning. And we have the slightly larger one here. I'm pretty happy with the ones that I picked out. What do we think? There are some other shapes, sizes, designs out there. If you know of any companies, I know there's one called Alabama Damascus that looks like they make some pretty decent stuff, and I'm going to try out a couple from there as well. But if you do have any recommendations, comment below. Let me know where, what company, if you've used them, if you used anything from Amazon like these Zabys right here, and how well they hold up. We are going to test them and find out, so I'm excited about that. Which one is your favorite out of the group that I got right here? This one? I honestly feel like these look like some nice, that feels like a nice size fixed blade that I could carry around and use. Maybe I would change that section right there for sharpening in the future. But these are just things, you know, I didn't make these designs. Maybe I need to get into this so I can get going, buy some stock, and make my own creations. That's the plan, the goal, the dream. Thank you for sitting through my TED Talk here, my little rant. I am excited about this. If anyone has any info, any ideas, any thoughts, any recommendations, materials, handles, about the pins, anything, let's discuss. Comment below. I'm excited to get into it. I hope you are as well. Can join me on this adventure. Stay sharp. We'll see you soon.